So what do you do when your child says, I need medication? Which actually, like you said, for 2 years, this kid is going around acting crazy and never even realized that they had a problem. But all of a sudden, since you started TP and you're not a part of the problem, you're not fighting anymore, so she's able to have introspection and she says, I have anxiety, I have issues, I want medication. Major breakthrough. Now, I'm not against medication, but wouldn't it be great if she didn't need medication? Which is what we have many, many times, that through TP, the kids who need, like you said, the kid that were on medication are now off. Or that they looked like they definitely needed it, and all of a sudden they're calm and they're different. Panim Chadashis Ba'ulakan. We have a new kid, right? And it's nice to hear that from your family, that your kid is like, is she on medication? She's just like a different kid. That's what we're really trying to do. And it happens to be that even though the world is saying that all of these kids need medication, most of the kids actually don't need medication, and even the ones who do, when we're doing TP and we are successful with creating the nafshik shur b'nafshay, both mom and dad are doing what you're doing, then even the kid with medication doesn't need that level. It can go down, 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 down. And the psychiatrists are the ones who say, oh, I see you doing better, just like they always adjust it, right? So anyway, this kid is saying, I want medication. Now really, it's very, very good. She wants not to feel this way. But there are a lot of other options of ways to help with anxiety, like somatic experiencing. There's other ways also. There's fast tapping and things like that, EFT. And really what I like about somatic is that in 5 to 10 hours, you can know if this thing helped you or not. And if it helps you, you could be really not need medication. Or if you're on medication, you could really get off. But I like that if it doesn't work, okay, so you know it in a couple of weeks, a couple of double sessions. It's not something like talk therapy. We got to go through 2-3 years to figure out, nope, it didn't work. It made me worse. It's much, much quicker. That's what I like about it. So the idea that I advise them is that they have a doctor, a psychiatrist, or even just a regular doctor who's very close to them, and he'll play along with it. They first found a somatic practitioner that's near them. Because my first idea was, you know what, tell her, I don't mind if you get medicine, but why don't we first try somatic? But you know what happens when the parents give advice, anything that goes wrong, right? If the kid says this is a stupid head, she doesn't know anything, is an idiot, it's your fault. So we don't want it to be your fault. So maybe say, you know what, let's take you for medication, but how about let's try somatic? But still, it's coming from you. So the final idea that I came up with, which I think this is definitely the way to go, they are finding the somatic practitioner that they would like her to go to. They're calling the doctor in advance, and he's working with them. And they tell him, listen, she's going to tell you her problems or anxiety. You just say, wow, and you listen, and be really take it seriously, okay? Tell her, I'm going to give you medication that's really going to help you. Don't say that you're giving her a low dose. Let's start with this, because then the kids who are suffering, they say, okay, let me take double, let me take triple. Say, I'm giving you the right dose for what you need. Lamaisa b'poil, it is a low dose. That's how it starts. But don't say the word low dose. Say, this is going to help. And I've dealt with a lot of people who are in your situation, and they get helped also by something called somatic experiencing. It's not talk therapy. You don't need to talk. And this is who I recommend. And you give her the phone number. She come from the doctor. And then I want you to go to like twice a week, whatever. In a month from now, I want you to come back, and we're going to reevaluate your situation. Sometimes we're going to need to increase the dose. Sometimes we're going to keep it the same. And sometimes we're going to be able to make it lower if you're feeling better. So I think that this answers all the problems. She feels heard because she's saying, I want medicine. And don't wait a week or two. Sometimes people wait a few weeks. Can you imagine a kid says, my tooth hurts, I have a lot of pain, my head hurts, I have a lot of pain, and you take 3 weeks to get back to a doctor? That's not acceptable. Even though the parents say, well, we're looking. It's not acceptable to a child. I said I need medication. An hour later, you should be by somebody. You have to go as fast as you can. The same as if it was my tooth hurts, you would right away call a dentist. And if the dentist says, I'm sorry, we can't see your daughter for 2 weeks, you're going to scream at him and say, but she's in pain. Over here also, he says he's in pain, and what are you doing for me? Nothing. So right away, we have a plan. You call the pediatrician or the doctor or find someone that you can work with, and he should take it very seriously, because it is serious. She's in a lot of pain, right? And social anxiety is very painful, and anxiety is very painful. And I also want to say the example that I said before. If you have a headache, but the headache is because you're allergic to mold and you have mold at home, and you take medicine for your head, the doctor gives you, it's not helpful because you're allergic to mold. You got to get rid of the mold. Anxiety and social anxiety is coming from something. She doesn't have, our kids, I've never met a kid that has a machla called anxiety. It comes from something. I'm not talking about the parents who have anxiety because their parents were Holocaust survivors and the normal anxiety that people have today where they take a little tiny dose of something. Okay, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about severe anxiety that they need to be hospitalized or major medication. It's always trauma. It's always trauma. It's always trauma. And the good thing is that even if it's not trauma, if you do something like somatic or those type of things, it helps for the anxiety no matter what it is. It really helps. It helps calm down the amygdala. Ki yadua liyadei kip. Those who are doing this, we see tremendous results with that. So she did not ask for somatic because she doesn't know about it. But she's saying, I want help. So you want to show her, I'm with you, right? And what I would have done without this, I would say, you get her on medication and you keep on doing TP and let the doctor give the medication he feels, and you'll know you're successful when the doctor starts lowering the medication. Then we know that we're successful, that our fun that we're injecting and the nafshik shura banafshe and the boosting is working, and you'll see that they need less medication. 100%, it's happening over and over and over again. It's happening over and over again. We had a girl who was diagnosed by 4 top out-of-pocket psychiatrists. Out of pocket. It was a wealthy family. They went for the best, and they went for 4 different psychiatrists because they did not like the diagnosis. And each one said, bipolar, 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 bipolar. It was less than 3 years of TP. And she besides bipolar, she tried to kill herself. She had full of marks from cutting herself. She had eating disorder. It's the whole crash. And they really did TP. It was less than 3 years. She was off all medication. And I spoke to somebody, a very big person in the field. He said, it can't be. Bipolar is genetic. Bipolar it's physical, piece of you. No such thing. It must be that she never had bipolar to begin with. So I said, okay, yeah, could be. But she was acting like she had bipolar. The psychiatrists are not neviim. They're not prophets. They look at the behavior. So yes, somebody who has trauma and is not being dealt with properly, or even sometimes while they're being dealt with properly until it takes some time for our medicine to work also, our treatment to work also. They look like they have bipolar because that's what trauma does. Childhood trauma makes you look meshuggah and you're swinging and then you're in bed and then you have all this energy and you go out and you do crazy stuff and you have ups and you have downs. So the psychiatrists really, they're not a prophet. They're doing their job. You look down, you probably have depression. I'm going to give you medication. Come back next month. Do you feel good? No? I'll give you more medication. What else are they supposed to do? Why you're feeling down? They don't know if you have mold in your house. They don't know if what you're going through. They're not therapists. And even the therapists, they're not able to know that you went through trauma if you don't reveal it to them. Older people, they come in and they say, this is my story. Okay. But so many kids don't even know it. And so many even adults don't even connect it to what they went through at 6, 7 years old. What does that have to do with the fact that 40 years old I lose my temper? What does that have to do with the fact that I'm always on edge? I don't trust people. People don't even know to trace it back to that. So I would have told you to go on medicine, and hopefully over time medicine will go bye-bye, because the psychiatrist is going to say, well, she's happier. And that's what I would have told you. But this is a better plan. You find a somatic practitioner near you, and you have the ask, please, for the medical doctor to do this, to give her a real dose, which is they start anyway in the lowest dose. Just don't call it low dose. Say, this is what I think will help you, and I'd like you to go to this person. Don't worry, there's no talking involved. And if we'll come back in a month, and we'll see. If you need more, I'll give you more. If you need less, I'll give you less. If stay the same, it's a very nice plan. This way, if they don't like the somatic practitioner, they're going to come to you and curse them out, and you get to say, oh, I can't believe it, that's crazy. And the doctor said to me, he's crazy. Yeah, he's crazy. And you have to be the good guys. Because throughout this journey, you need to be there at the end. She can dump the doctor, she could dump the practitioner, she could dump the neighbors, she could dump the boyfriend, the girlfriend, everybody can go. But I need you two to carry her, because we need you for the last scene. The last scene of this is you walking her down the aisle to a chuppah. And I need you there for that. So all the other people that she'll get frustrated with, let it be always somebody else. You're always saying, sure, honey, great idea, fantastic, because that's what's going to keep her connected to you. You always find somebody else that if it doesn't work out, she gets angry at them, and then you say, you know what, we should sue him. Don't worry, you're not suing him. And she's going to feel, wow, yeah, you got me. Yeah, he hurt me. He sent me to that crazy lady. We should sue her. And let's go back to Florida for another trip, right? And you'll see the picture you sent me of her in Florida, a relaxed kid. Of course you're going to see Nisim, Emir Hashem. She can emerge and that she can do stuff that she wasn't able to for a few years because she has mommy and daddy. So it's all about. And using your powers, not just creating the relationship. Use it every day. Say, what have I done for my kid today? It's the whole program, all the pieces of the puzzle. Don't come back and say, oh, I didn't do trips. Oh, I didn't do, it's amazing. You were saying that this trip, what it did, right? I have people who don't do trips. I sit here, I talk over and over and over again. I'm the doctor. I'm giving you a prescription. You have to go on a trip. Every 4 bombs is a trip. And people don't go. One guy didn't go Bashita. He was here a long time ago. His kid is still not where he would be. I know it for sure. But you're just holding back a piece of the medicine. I don't like to travel. Guess what? It's not about if you like, no, you don't like this. It's about rescuing your kid and getting them out of here with tremendous Mesiras Nefesh.